Hello and welcome to Traditional Stitches FlossTube video number 20. I'm Janice Spencer, the owner of Traditional Stitches, and welcome Rose.
Thanks, Janice. Hi, everybody.
We are publishing the video a couple of days early because I'm going on a weekend adventure with my girlfriend Lisa to Waterton National Park. It's about a 3-hour drive south of Calgary, and we're anticipating doing some hiking and some eating and stitching and drinking wine. So it'll be a really good adventure.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. Get out of the city.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. So the weather is looking like it's going to be pretty good. And the one thing though that I've heard is that the wild animals are pretty active right now, the elk and the bears, and so we'll have to be pretty cautious, but it'll still be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have fun.
Good. So just a few things that we're going to talk about this video, run through the favorites. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was our Traditional Stitches Jeanette Douglas exclusive. And so we've offered that a couple of months ago. Do you have that? Are you going to have that handy? Is this a surprise?
If you have a moment, I can grab it.
Yes.
It's just behind me.
Okay. Cool.
And I totally forgot.
I didn't give you enough warning. So this was a project that we released a couple months ago that is still available, and the chart included 5 different versions to do some needlework smalls. And I think I saw on the social media you came up with a creative alternate.
Yeah, last month I had said that maybe didn't. It depended on, how things work. But I made a strawberry. So for some reason I had a vision of a strawberry.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So, hats off to designers for coming up with things like this and then executing them. But I'm pretty pleased with it. If I did it over again, maybe I would do something different. And I've had people go, "Oh, how did you do that? And can you, can I get the chart?" And it's like, I can't, it's up here, and you just have to play around with graph paper and the chart and old-fashioned copy and paste if need be. And, a template from maybe another strawberry is what I would suggest, that you can cut out and kind of lay on your fabric. If you need to mark out the layout of the strawberry and then stitch within it and go from there. So cool. Yeah, it worked out really well. So
I was so impressed, and that was exactly what we had hoped for this project. So
good.
Yeah, so if anybody else has done some creative adaptations for our Jeanette Douglas project, send me some pictures and then we can talk about them in the next video. That would be fun.
Yeah, it would be. You could make a needle book. A needle book would be cute. She did a drum. You could do a different kind of drum. You could probably fill in a picture to put in a frame. The imagination, what you could come up with, is expansive. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Well, I'll link below to the video where Jeanette and I introduced these projects so that everybody can see all of the details. And then also there will be a link to find it on our website. So join in the fun.
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing on our schedule is the Eliza Martha Linfoot stitch along. Yeah, so this is going to be part 9 already. Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
It goes by, hey?
It does. Okay, did you have the chart, or I can pull it quickly?
I've got the chart right here.
Perfect.
So section number 9 is this bottom border. So that's going to be the next bit. And then after that will be this fun stitching in this area, which I didn't think to bring my finished model from the shop today to show, but how does your progress look?
Well, I just started on the bottom. I haven't gone any further. So I have a lot of threads hanging where I had stopped and moved on. I'm nervously excited about that center part, and I'm not sure why. I think stem stitch always concerns me a little bit. So once I get there, I'll be fine. But yeah, so I'll probably start this next week again. But it's been fun. And for those that are wondering, I'm working 45 count legacy linen in the called for color. I can't remember what it is. Nightingale?
Oh shoot, it's not on the chart either. That sounds right.
Okay, we'll go with that. Nightingale.
Yeah,
So.
It's a legacy linen from Access Commodities, and they make their linens in a nice range of counts. So 30 count, 37 or 38 count, and 45 count. But and then they're in color families that way, but each of the colors in the color family has a different name. And so sometimes it's a little bit much to keep them all straight.
Yeah, it is. So,
yeah, but it's a gorgeous family.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Well, we're seeing some more finishes on the Facebook group, so that's all.
I bet, yeah. Well, when they saw yours, they're probably thinking, oh, I've got to get it done. And I was affected by that too. I kind of want to get it done now too. So, yeah. So who knows? Who knows?
All right. So anyways, all of the supplies for that is still available. And that was the one that was the exclusive chart from the 4 shops and Hands Across the Sea samplers. So it was Attic Needlework, Needle in a Haystack, Traditional Stitches, Stitch in Time in Australia, and then Nicola's website that you could order that from. And so it's going to be really interesting to see the sprint to the end for everybody. And again, on this stitch along, there will be a drawing for an antique sampler for those that finish the sampler within the stitch along time frame. So we'll have more details on that though as we get a little bit closer to the end.
Cool.
Yeah. So then the next stitch along we have is also Hands Across the Sea samplers, and this is our sweet girl. She's a Traditional Stitches exclusive, not available anywhere else. And she is Esther Blackwood. And she is a Canadian sampler stitched by a Canadian model stitcher, offered exclusively by a Canadian shop. So we're pretty proud of her.
Yes.
So do you have her with you?
I do. Do you want me to show my progress or the chart where we are for this coming month?
Both. Eventually.
Chart?
No.
Okay, I'll show you the chart first where we're going to jump into. So we're on month 6.
Okay.
The medallion and part of the words. Okay.
Cool.
So a little bit of an easier month. Well, maybe that's relative. I like words, so some people don't and find it mundane. And so I finished month 5, including that pretty little star border, not border, but dividing band. Sorry for the wrinkles. I did not, maybe that's better. I didn't iron her.
Huh. Oh, that looks so great.
It does. And you know, the picture really does not show justice, give it justice. As you work on it, the colors come to life, the motifs come to life, and I really like this piece. I really enjoy it. So, and the fabric I really enjoy too. I'm working on 46 count Lakeside linen in pecan butter.
I think it's vintage pecan butter.
Vintage pecan butter, you're right.
So
love it, absolutely love it. Would like to work on it more, but I'm met under the constraints of, oh, do behave. So I have to
stick to the stitch along.
I will stick with the stitch along. So, yep.
Well, she looks beautiful. Good. Excellent. Oh, so that we're going into month number 6.
Correct.
Oh, that's so exciting. Awesome. Okay, moving right along here. The next thing I want to talk about, so the Esther Blackwood, the Jeanette Douglas, even back to when we did Ann Morrison, were designs, samplers, exclusives to celebrate Traditional Stitch's 20th anniversary. And so I gave a sneak peek last month of our final 20th anniversary design. And so I'm going to show that off to you in full here. And this is, again, something totally different from what we've done. And it is by local designer Frida Murfin, Frida's Fancy Stitching. And when we suggested she do something to help celebrate our 20th anniversary, she was all over it. And in a matter of no time, we had the model in the shop. So having the designer do the shop model, it kind of takes my fun out of it, because I want to stitch it too. So I think there'll be 2 now.
Oh, good.
So this is it. It's just gorgeous. So it's done on 18 count mono canvas. And this is the Zweigart vintage mono canvas that has the pattern kind of rolled onto the one side. So okay. Kind of like the vintage country mocha, the linen that we're a little bit familiar with, where on one side it's got kind of the wavy pattern on it, and on the other side it's solid.
Right.
So if you didn't like the rolled on pattern, you could certainly use the reverse side and it would look just as lovely. But look at all of these fun stitches.
That does look like fun. I love her asymmetry in it.
Yeah, and she just shows the perfect colors for us too. So there are all kinds of counted canvas work stitches in here. I'm just going to show you an example of the level of detail that her charts include for counted canvas work.
Yeah. I love stuff like that. It's just, it looks so complicated, but it's so easy for those that are intimidated by it. It's just, it's not hard. And Frida does a really good job, like you said, of charting and detailing. So
yeah, absolutely. So we'll see if Frida will be brave enough to join us in a video down the line to talk a little bit more about it. And we're going to have this ready to go towards the end of June, I think. Supplies dependent, of course, but I'll link below for more information on the website. So it's done on the 18 count mono canvas. There are 3 colors of Caron watercolors cotton thread, some DMC Pearl 5 and Pearl 8, some Kreinik number 4 braid and number 8 braid, and some beads.
Oh, there's beads.
Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
Okay. Well, there's some in the centers of these here, and then there's also some in here. So just to give it some more visual interest. It's awesome.
That is nice. That is very pretty. That, like I said before, pictures do not show what it really looks like. You can see the dimension as you held it. It's very pretty, very pretty.
Yeah. So very exciting.
Yes.
So watch for more information about that on our website, and shipping, we're aiming towards the end of June.
Okay.
So what else have you been working on, Rose?
Admittedly, not a huge amount. Outdoors has brought me, outdoors. I haven't got as much stitching. The evenings have been gorgeous. I've still been working a little bit monthly on Jeanette's mini bouquet sampler SAL, and that is the stitch along that she has provided free. And I can show you my progress thus so far. And that is the May. See? So next week, the June installment will come out. So I'll be interested to see what she has. And I'm stitching on vintage country mocha, and I'm using a lot of colors from my stash, whether they're the called for or I substitute. I'm stash busting for that one, and that's been fun. And I've been working on Rose Ada Featherstone, which is a Hands Across the Sea. Pardon me, a little bit out of reach here. And this was through Hobby House Needleworks. And I think some are familiar with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 4 stitch-alongs going. And it's tough on me. I tend to work from start to finish. So this is one I am kind of working along to finish. So that is, I'm on the bottom part. So the big house is up here. You can't see it. And I'm just working on this bottom section. And my border matched. So yay. Everyone knows what that feels like. So, and then I didn't really bring, I can show you one thing that just came out. I'm back. So Just Nan came out with the start of the new series and the plumed peacock mouse.
Yeah. And
I haven't bought any Just Nan for a few years. I've got quite a few, and I like smalls just for, you know, sometimes you just want to have a small to fit in big. You know, it's my, I have a name for it and I can't think of what it's called. Doesn't matter. But I've been working on it in the morning with coffee and cross stitch for an hour, and all the stitching is done. I'm just doing the beading. So for anybody that isn't familiar with these little mice, this is what they look like before you actually stitch them together. And this is the peacock mouse. She's getting her beading on, and then she'll get all her accoutrements on it and sewn together. And there is the little, I think it's a needle book that I will stitch next.
Yeah.
And then it has the tin. And what I like about this one, which none of the mice have had before, she always, part of the kit, you get a little metal base that you stitch on the bottom. Well, in this case, it has a magnet, and it sticks onto the tin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I've been having fun with some smalls, and that's kind of been where my morning has, you know, I just enjoy that type of thing. So, so I'm a bit of an eclectic stitcher in that way. I like my big samplers, but I need sometimes a palette cleanser. That's what I'm looking for. I just sometimes need that. And I can stitch lower count outside if I'm camping or sitting on the deck. So can't pull a stand and magnifying lamp out there. So
I just love the colors in that. And the fact that all of the little goodies were included in that chart pack and you didn't have to chase anything down.
All you need is DMC. And in this case, I needed Krynic, which a lot of her kits call for the same Krynic if you need a Krynic. So, and if you don't have the Krynic and don't want it, you can always, you know, use Rainbow Gallery thread. You could always buy the DMC metallics, which are not a joy to work with, but they work. Or you can substitute with a DMC thread. It's really your own. So lots of options, but they're fun. They're just fun. So someday my grandkids will get them and either think that Nana's crazy or had lots of fun with them. So.
Well, it's nice to mix in those feelings of accomplishment in between the big projects to keep you going on the,
Exactly.
The finishing feeling.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I alluded before we started recording to a little bit of a problem that I've run into with my major project. So I've been working on the Scarlet Letters Peacock, Unicorn, and Badger sampler, and it looks like this. And so again, I had to go back to last month's video to see exactly how much I had accomplished in the month between, and it doesn't feel like I'm making very much progress, but it was really good to see the before and after picture. So I'll probably insert another still shot from last month's video
Oh, good.
after what I show you, just so that you can see what I'm seeing as I go along. So this is where I'm at.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are really
So
making good progress.
this strawberry here would be about the midpoint of the design. So you know how they have the arrows halfway down the graph on the outside? That's where that arrow is. So it's still, there's still a lot to go. But the problem that I've run into is I ran out of background thread. So you think, okay, well, you own a shop, just go to the drawer, but that color is out of stock and it's on back order, which means that when we do get some, it's entirely likely to be from a totally different production run.
Okay.
Yeah.
First world problems.
Yeah. So now I'm trying to strategize about if it does come in a different dye lot, how am I going to handle that? So my first thought was to do an intentional kind of a hillock right at this line here, just so that it looked like in the chart, there are some little mounds here.
Okay.
So I was thinking about trying to just make an intentional kind of a mound in the background there so that if the dye lot does come in quite a bit different, I can just do that. I was having a chat with my friend Kathy Ray, who owns Needle in a Haystack in California. And her suggestion was, since I still have a little bit of the old dye lot left, is to kind of almost pixelate the transition, kind of like snowflake almost it down from the one level into the next one. And then I was thinking about some like stump work projects that I've seen and that kind of thing, where they actually do little sawtooths down of one color, 2 or 3 stitches, and then the other color just is 2 or 3 stitches beside. It's kind of like almost bricking it almost.
Right.
So I started playing around with that a little bit. Just kind of on here, on this side. And I'm still going to do it kind of in a mound kind of a shape, but I'm going to wait and see how different the dye lot comes in before I make my final decision about what to do. But so
you could also reach out to the stitching community if anybody has old dye lots that they'd be willing to sell.
Well, and it's not that old of a dye lot. Like I only started it, like I kitted it within the last year. So, and then like I have plans, so I don't know that that's necessarily, you'd never know, right, from a photo
or some other shops that might have existing stock.
So I'm just going to wait and see when we do get it back in stock what it looks like, and just see how close it is. It might not be a problem, it might be exactly perfect, but I don't have to decide until I see it, and then I know from there. So that means that I'm just working down more on the motifs and filling in the motifs, which will leave me with a whole lot of background to fill in at the end when I do figure it out. But I'm still loving it so much that I don't want to put it away. So
I had that problem last fall. I was stitching 4 small projects, the same thing, but I was using DMC. And instead of buying a whole skeins of DMC, I used existing. And the one color in the letters I ran out of. And I bought another skein and I realized the dye lot had changed. And if you can remember DMC in the past, due to environmental protocols and that, some of their colors have changed. And so I reached out to a stitching friend and I went and she gave me some stuff and it still was the wrong. And I could have ripped out, in the last one, I could have ripped out all the lettering, which really at the time seemed insurmountable. And so this is where my little Ort jar came in handy. I was using little pieces, 1-inch pieces, and I do a couple stitches and I finish it off, and then I do another 2 or 3 stitches and finish it off. I got through it and I used every last piece in my Ort jar and I was done. So you know, we don't always have that opportunity as stitchers to plan. Sometimes the designer might just inadvertently not say you need 4 skeins of this, or, you know, type of thing. So DMC isn't such a big deal, but you know, if you're using a silk or whatever, you're not going to buy a whole swack of skeins. You know, it's not cost efficient. So you got to come up with some creative ideas.
Yep, necessity will cause me to be a little inventive, I think, but
Yep,
that's okay. I'll report back. I'll let everybody know what I end up deciding and
okay.
see how it looks.
Yeah, yeah.
But I haven't picked up anything else. Like you said, it's gardening season here, and our outside season is so short that I just go so hard at the beginning that by the time the snow flies, I'm ready for it to be over. But
yeah.
So I have scratches on my arms to prove that we were cleaning out shrubs yesterday. And
yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. And our season here, of course, starts May long weekend and ends usually the September Labor Day long weekend is usually, and that's not huge. And sometimes it's a little longer, but generally that's it. So.
Yes, that's exactly right. So what have you got coming up? Any plans to go camping or anything like that?
Not at the moment, no. I just, you know, life has thrown a curveball, so we're just kind of sitting back and seeing where that may lead us. And we'll probably get back out there camping. Doing a lot of stuff around the house, and you know, lots of walks, lots of hiking, biking, working. You know, I've got the next couple of weeks, I've got, you know, some clients, and you know, somewhere in there I'll do some stitching, maybe some knitting, and yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, the other exciting thing that I have coming up is I am going to the attic. So we're going for Jean's Bristol Sampler Seminar the second weekend in June, and there's a few of us that are meeting up there to hang out and help Jean out and enjoy the classes. So I'm really looking forward to that.
You will have such a good time. Have you been to one of Claudia's Bristol samplers?
No, I haven't. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that.
I bet.
I also have never been to Arizona in June.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's going to be warm.
Yeah.
It is a Canadian girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of air conditioning. It probably will. Well, we've had some hot temperatures here. Maybe, yeah, we are dry generally, but you know, if they hit like 40 degrees, which is over 100, I think, you know, it's air conditioning time. It really is. Yeah.
So anyways, but I don't imagine that we'll have much time to spend doing things other than being at the shop. Usually I get behind the fabric cutting table with Jean and we get that done. And so yeah, it'll be great to see everybody. I'm really
It will be.
Yeah.
Is there a project or is it all seminars? Or
there's a combo of projects and some lecture type things, which I love. So yeah, a learning opportunity for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so then I will tell you all about it in our next video when I get back.
Good, good. Okay. I am looking forward to that. Gotta live vicariously through you.
Usually it's the other way around, so we're good.
Well, in this case.
All right, Rose. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Janice.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care. Bye.